Hey, it's Predpool. Welcome back. Yeah, it's been a while since I've done a video, but I wanted to do one for the Super 7 Monkian from the Thundercats line. Just got this figure recently, so I wanted to review it, and I really like what I received with this figure. I've been collecting only as far as the villains right now with the Thundercats. Haven't gotten Mumra yet, but I'll show the other figures I've got later on in this video. So right now I'm going to focus on Monkian, and as you can see right now I have laid out what he comes with. He comes with an extra head, which is more the screaming attack face. He comes with a like a laser rifle, and then he comes with the chain mail here. Then he has his famous shield, in which in the cartoon it shoots out as well as like a cannonball type thing. And then he has extra pair of hands. He has for each side like an open hand, in which usually is like to grab the rifle or for clawing and so forth. And then he has an extra gripping hands or holding weapons. Now the difference between this and the one he has on, these move side to side, while the ones on that he has placed right now move up and down like this. So that is the main difference between those two different gripping hands. So as far as articulation, he's pretty good for being a big bulky guy. He's typically what you would see as far as if you had any of the Master of the Universe or any of the Super 7 Thundercats figures or He-Mans. They tend to be the same type of range. Even with his shoulders, they extend pretty well. They don't really impede, so he can extend them out. As far as his head, it is impeded a little bit, although it's rubbery, his hair, but his joint doesn't really allow for a lot of back movement or forward. So it's mostly based on the ball joint that he can move slightly up and down. Removing his head is quite easy. There's no issue or tightness or struggle to do it. Actually, it's a little too easy at times for it to come out. So you take this one out, see how easy, then you can put this one in. This one has a little snap to it, so it tends to stay a little better than the other head, is more neutral face. So that can snap off. But then once you put the other head, it just kind of like slides in. It's not, you don't hear that snap from the other head. So as far as rotation all around, this does impede it. So you can't do a full rotation. You can kind of do it this way if you want to. He's got, as far as a swivel up here, his joint is single jointed. He have on his hands that move up and down this way. Rotate, this rotates. His ab crunch, he can move this far back. Forward is pretty good, especially for being an ape. You kind of want that hunch at times to have, so that's pretty good. Splits, you can do the splits. Single jointed knee, and his ankle, you can have a rocker here so he can do the swivel. So it's pretty good. Now one thing that's neat about this figure, which we've been seeing more from Super 7, is the pinless. So if you have any of the older figures of He-Man or Thundercats, you'll see the pins over here, while this one, he does not. He does not have the pin, so that's a good thing that we've been seeing in some of their figures recently. So it's good to see with him. Now the shield is very nice. You can see here it has that gold paint to it, brown, then black in here. He has the handle there. His shield is not held this way. If the grip with this one or the other one do not allow for it to hold this way. In the cartoon, as I mentioned before, this shield had where he shot some kind of like plasma ball, kind of like a canyon. So he kind of holds it this way, face forward, and then to kind of copy that. But it's kind of tough at times to get that handle between all of his fingers. You kind of have to work with it. His laser rifle, and you saw his head just fell off, and that was what I was mentioning before earlier. This one doesn't have, mine at least, maybe someone else who got theirs has it, but didn't have that pop. So you saw it just fell off. So I'm just gonna put this one on here for the rest of the review, so that I won't have to keep putting it back on. It stays. It's just like right now with me messing around with it a lot, it will tend to fall out easier. As far as again, his flare, his weapon here, he can hold it quite well, and is on the chain, metal chain, so that's pretty nice. The rifle I don't like. It's so bland and boring. You see here, it's just yeah, there's nothing to it. I mean, you got the holes there, but as far as holding it, you can hold it. It's got nice tight grip. You just have to work with it. You can hold it, and then if you want to put the other hand to like get that, dual thing, it kind of will work better with the other hands that he has, his clawing ones, but this works well enough for now. His head can turn, so you get that blast effect. Okay. Well, not, it's not an effect, but you know what I meant. So yeah, it's an awesome figure. The sculpt is great. For being again Super 7, He-Man kind of style figure, it's got pretty good range of motion, so I really enjoy, and I'm glad to have it. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to do some comparisons of some other figures with it. Okay, so here are some comparisons. Here's from Masterverse. We have Cyclops, and we have Triclops. Triclops and Evelyn. So from a different cartoon, but yeah, just to see with current releases of that line. So we can see that Triclops is just barely a little bit taller, but he is taller than Evelyn. So there's a comparison with that line if you want to, as far as mix the two different universes. Okay, so now here's a comparison with some Mythic Legions with Vitus or Vitus and Sir Gerard. So again, he's taller than them by a little bit, but not by much. So again, if you want to mix and match with another line, there you go with Mythic Legions. And now for the last comparison, here we have him with his fellow mutants from the Thundercats line with Jackalman and with Slive. So now I have that trio from that series as far as the villains, the main ones. If you've seen the series back in the 80s, or if you watched it now, later on other villains join them from other mutants, and you also may be aware about a Mumra, who's basically their main leader. But this is like the trio that kind of started it, and just I'm just glad to have these three together. Just like in some of the other lines, there's been some trios. You got the Seekers like Starscream, Thundercracker, Skywarp. There's a trio there. G.I. Joe, you kind of figure like Cobra Commando, Destro, and Baroness. They kind of like the main trio, as far as I'm concerned with them as far as starting off. So these are the ones from the Thundercats that I was really excited in getting from that line. I may get some other villains down the line, but this is the three that I had to have. If I don't get any more, I'll be okay. So I'm good with these three. I may decide, like I said, down the road may get other ones, but as long as I have these three, as far as I'm concerned, I'm good. Alright, so there you have it. This is my brief review of Monkian from the Thundercats line. I gave him a different sword, a weapon to work with. This one's from Mythic Legions. It came with Cassia, but I just like the way it looks on him. So it's got like some bone handle. Let's see the focus. So I just like the goes again with his look, since he already has some spikes and so forth around him. So I just think it looks really well with him, and that's how I'm going to display him on my shelf, and in the future take other pictures that I post on Twitter. So All right, so that is, again, it's a brief review, but if you haven't gotten him already, I highly recommend him. Out of the mutants of that, the three mutants between him, Jackalman, and Slithe, I would say Slithe is still my favorite of the three, just because his scope is so unique and he's such a fun figure to have. There's no way knocking this figure down. They're all great. He will be second out of the three that as far as articulation and again the sculpt, and Jackalman will be the last. He's good and everything, but I prefer him over Jackalman, and I prefer Slithe over him and Jackalman. And just Slithe is such a cool figure. But definitely, I think is my money's worth in getting this guy from Super 7, and I'm glad I got him. So I hope this review helped a little bit. I know there's some other reviewers out there. Check out Toy Bro. He gave an excellent review on this if you want. More in depth than mine, but definitely there's some other good reviews out there regarding this figure. So hopefully mine contributed as far as with deciding whether you want to get this or not. For me, I recommend it. If you're into Thundercats and you need the villains, these are the three main villains as far as concerned, aside from Mumra, that you have in your collection. All right, so I hope everybody again enjoy this. Take care and enjoy collecting your figures if you're you're into collecting figures. And again, everyone be careful out there, and hopefully I'll see you soon with another review. All right, see you later.